in a way, this has become like the heart of the controversy. It's heart of the controversy because in an island where we should have diversity and is a garden island, you are getting the worst of violent agriculture-like war.
We're ground zero for this chemical corn, chemical soy, these experimental field crops of transgenic commodity crops that have been crossed without any disclosure.
GMOs is the most important destructive thing that is happening to our islands today.
It's important to realize the cutting-edge nature of where we are. All the research that's going on in genetic engineering, this is all these, herbicides, these weed killers, putting on these plants, all these exotic chemicals. This is where those parent lines are created, right in this state. And this is sort of the ground zero for the research that's going on in genetic engineering that then spreads across the entire world.
Big companies like Monsanto and Dupont and Syngenta, these are pesticide companies. They've bought up much of the seed supply. So now we have these pesticide companies determining the direction of plant breeding in this country and through much of the world. Monsanto in particular has prohibited seed savings, so farmers always have to go back to the companies to buy new seed each year.
These chemicals are applied in Waimea on 7 out of 10 days every day of the year. 7 out of 10 days, this particular company is poisoning our island.
There's a place called Waimea Canyon Middle School, and it's on the west side where a lot of these seed corn companies have their fields. And there was 3 different times when kids got sick. And a couple of times they went to the hospital in an ambulance. I mean, they're really sick, and the teachers too.
There's an epidemic of cancer, of leukemias, obesity, asthma, and there's more of those diseases in people living near these chemical crops.
Genetic engineering, biotechnology promised us this revolution in agriculture. They've failed in 30 years, billions of dollars of public and private research to create one single thing that benefits the public. These guys are really empty giants.
Mahalo so much for coming to visit us on our island. We love you so much.
For someone like her to have to come here, there must be something big going on.
A central thing of what Bandana's groups are doing is to discuss issues of sovereignty, food justice, food democracy.
Please, a very warm aloha for Dr. Vandana Shiva.
At every level, the claims of GMOs are failing, that it will produce more food and solve hunger. And in countries like the US, there is no real biosafety regulation.
115 more million pounds of herbicides are put on our lands today because of GMO crops every year.
The beauty of being human is we can choose our paths. Our path is to recognize the richness, the diversity, the beauty, the generosity, the abundance of life, to nurture it, to protect it, most importantly, to tell its truth.
Well, some people think that GMOs is just another aspect of plant breeding or evolution. I want to make it clear that it's fundamentally different. There's been a lot of research showing very, very serious health effects from it. There's a giant experiment going on with our kids and our families.
A lot of times our laws are designed to let anything go until the science proves it's a problem.
Representative democracy doesn't have to be by the corporations, of the corporations, for the corporations. It can still be by the people, of the people, for the people.
We have been having a horrible time convincing our legislators the seriousness of this problem. Nobody can see it, nobody believes it. We are going to march to the legislature tomorrow morning.
Everybody that's ready to march down to the state capitol, we're about ready to begin. So we're going to start. Before we start, we're going to acknowledge our kupuna, and we're going to say pule. So everybody around, come closer, come closer. We can share in each other's aloha.
Yaka akau kalani, o ki hai kalani, o wei kalani, nunului kalani, paholui kalani.
Today is when start. For sure these politicians, for sure Monsanto. And we're going to aloha aina to generations. The generations that came before us, and the generations to come. We're never going to stop loving this aina.
As the march down to the state capitol, it began to swell. People began to join us.
I didn't expect this kind of turnout.
We have to get our white gloves off our hands and do the dirty job at the legislature.
And we are teaching the children here today that they need to come to this building over and over and over. We are setting that example for the next generation.
I mean, that's all Walter's message is, now that you've listened to me, take that information, take that knowledge, and now you go forth.
It's so joyful and so hopeful, and to see young children involved, not just in the talking of food freedom, but the making of it.
You will defend what you love. And, Lincoln said, the best warriors are lovers. People who just war to war, they'll get tired of it, they'll fight for either side. But when you're a lover, not a warrior, in your heart and your soul, but then somebody attacks what you love, that's the warrior you want to be. And that's what you are as a parent, and that's what you are as somebody who comes to love this earth, and comes to love nature, and comes to love this great gift that we've been given.
On our island, we fight for love. We fight for love against all odds, against whoever. It doesn't matter, because this aina has our loyalty, has our energy, and we connected to them. Feet on the ground, planted to the aina, and we fight for tomorrow.
The first job of an activist, of a journalist, of a teacher, of every citizen is awareness.
And that's why you are critical to this issue, not just for your own sakes, but for the sake of the world. Because you've become like the nerve center for the expansion of this destruction. We haven't even begun to explore the amazing potentials of our freedom, our creativity, and our power. That's why I've come to join hands with you. Now, this return to the earth is the only kind of thinking through which we can have sustainability. At every level, returning to the earth in our consciousness, in our hearts, in our love. And returning to the earth means a culture of giving, a culture of loving. I feel very grateful that I've been able to come and lend my little bit to this movement, so that these islands will be GMO free, will be real gardens, will be organic zones.